Have you ever understood the debate between spirituality and wealth? The main difference between rich people in the world and poor Christians? Well, in the next few minutes, I will reveal 3 habits of most Christians that make them poor, which they are unaware of. I'll also show you very easy ways to stop these habits and adopt new ones if you fall victim to them, so that you too can have a life of freedom and prosperity. But first, let me make it clear to you that you can pursue both riches and spirituality on earth and win both games so that you don't have to end up like the majority of Christians. Coming up next, I'll read to you a story of someone in the Bible who adopted these habits and accumulated vast riches and wealth in his time. From the book of 1 Kings chapter 10 verses 23 and 24, the Bible reads, "King Solomon was greater in riches and wisdom than all the other kings of the earth. The whole world sought audience with Solomon to hear the wisdom God had put in his heart." King Solomon was the wealthiest man on earth. He had lots of wealth because God blessed him. But have you ever wondered how he gained all his money? Is it that God opened up the windows of heaven and poured him all the golden riches? You definitely know the answer. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 states, "For lack of knowledge, my people perish." King Solomon's wealth was mainly attributed to the wise decisions he made in trade and governance. The blessing God blessed him was the knowledge of making money, the wisdom of money management. This is to inform us that we as Christians should have knowledge about business, money making, and how to manage our finances. You can be the most spiritual Christian on earth, but if you do not learn the ins and outs of money management and do not apply them in your life, you will never have prosperity on earth. One truth is common among rich people, whether they are Christians or not, and this is it. They have mastered the principles of accumulating wealth. I can't underestimate the importance of following the principles of the Bible. Truth is, you can't go against the law of nature and succeed. The Bible is in alignment with the law of nature. Proverbs 11 verses 24 and 25 reads, "One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Giving is like sowing a seed and reaping a bountiful harvest in due time. The law of nature works if you align your principles with its principles. It will work whether you are a believer or not. Whoever gives receives. So to multiply your wealth on earth, you must cultivate the habit of giving first, because giving starts the receiving process. The Book of Kings has numerous stories that baffle our understanding whenever we hear them. It's one book that demonstrates the power of God. One incredible story can be found in 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 2 to 5, which reads, "Elisha replied to her, 'How can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house?' 'Your servant has nothing there at all,' she said, 'except a small jar of olive oil.' Elisha said, 'Go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. Then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into all the jars, and as each is filled, put it to one side." She left him and shut the door behind her and her sons. They brought the jars to her, and she kept pouring. When all the jars were full, she said to her son, "Bring me another one." But he replied, "There is not a jar left." Then the oil stopped flowing. It's worth noting that the widow being spoken about here brought in her small oil first. It was what she brought in that was blessed and multiplied. God tells us to return our tithes to Him, and if we do that, He will open up the floodgates of heaven and pour us a blessing that is beyond our imagination. Don't expect any increase in your finances if you don't bring your tithes and offerings to God first. God is not interested in the amount we are bringing to Him. In fact, He owns the whole world. He is only interested in our faithfulness to Him. It's a test to prove whether or not we are good stewards. A faithful steward is always entrusted with more. So if you want to quickly multiply your riches and have a life of prosperity, just like King Solomon, be faithful in returning your tithes and your offerings to God, because in doing so, you will be multiplying your wealth beyond your greatest imagination. When we adopt these 3 simple habits, we will quickly increase our wealth in the shortest possible time. Most Christians who are poor do not practice these habits, and if they even do, they fall short of at least one. Try hard to cultivate these simple habits hereafter, and I promise you that you will have a life of abundance and prosperity. If you found our content helpful, please like our video and share it with others.